Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. Before I get into today's episode, I want to let you know that I have a few openings for Situational Awareness Matters programs in November and December. If your department hasn't held a training program on situational awareness yet, don't delay. Issues related to situational awareness and the barriers that flaw situational awareness have been implicated in nearly every significant first responder casualty report. It's a really, really big deal. The problem is most first responders know so little about it. They think so long as they pay attention or keep their head on a swivel that they'll have good situational awareness. Talk to anyone who's attended one of my situational awareness programs and they'll tell you that's simply not the case. Sure, paying attention is part of situational awareness, but it isn't all of it. There is so much more to it. Think about it. I've written 5 books on the topic. There must be something to it. Those who think situational awareness is just paying attention or keeping their head on a swivel are simply uninformed. Don't be uninformed on a topic that's this important, a topic that can literally save your life. There's too much at stake, and situational awareness serves as the foundation for good decision making. And it's that decision-making that will drive the action that leads to successful outcomes or catastrophic outcomes. If you're interested in getting a program booked, visit samatters.com and click on the Contact Us link on the top of the homepage, and we'll get something set up for you. Okay, let's get into the episode. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Battalion Chief Ryan Pyle from the Shawnee Fire Department, and you are listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello and welcome to episode 121 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The SA Matters mission is simple, to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from Orlando, Florida, where I'm participating in a Boy Scout high adventure trip. Tomorrow we will be departing for Key West for a 6-day sailing trip on a 90-foot schooner called the Jolly Rover 2. Hey, if you're interested in attending a situational awareness upcoming event, stop over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Event Schedule. More than 500 agencies on 4 continents have hosted Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events. I mentioned at the beginning of the program that I'm booking for fall of 2016, and I'm also actively booking for 2017. So if you're interested in getting something scheduled, contact me through the Contact Us link on the SA Matters website. Here's a tip for how you can host a program at a reduced cost. I schedule many what I call companion programs. These are programs on adjoining days to existing programs. So if you see I'm delivering a program, say, within a couple hours of your department, and you think you might want to tag along as a companion, contact me. You could save as much as 20% off the program costs for being a companion to an existing program. That's what I did recently in Texas, where I did a program for the Texas Interagency Mutual Aid Association, and Sci-Fair came along as a companion. And I did it again in Michigan when I did a program for Eastern Michigan University, and Brighton Area Fire came along as a companion. And I did it again recently when I did the Montana Fire Alliance. Spokane Fire Department came along as a companion. If you want to be put on the Let Me Know When You're Going to Be in My Area list, contact me through the website, and I'll let you know when I'm going to be in your region. In this episode, we're going to discuss 3 types of stress: acute stress, episodic stress, and chronic stress. First responders can, and often do, experience all three stressors. Stress can impact situational awareness, and equally concerning, stress can have devastating long-term impacts. As I was preparing this podcast, I recalled various times during my 30 years on the line where stress impacted my performance and my well-being. Responders are generally aware of the stresses that can come from doing the job. Crawl into a burning building and you're going to feel stress. Deal with a major trauma, especially one that involves a child, and you're going to experience stress. Ride an apparatus in heavy traffic during emergency response, and you're going to feel stress. However, some responders don't always realize that they're feeling stress because stress doesn't always feel like physical or emotional stress and strain. Endorphins and adrenaline stimulate the brain, in part to prepare you for the often discussed fight or flight response. This stimulation can cause you to feel excited, not stressed. Firefighters exiting a structure fire after successfully extinguishing the fire may feel adulation, not stress. They may feel victorious. They may high-five. They may backslap. They slayed the dragon. They're excited. And while it may not feel so, they're also stressed. Let's spend some time examining three types of stress. Acute stress. The most common form of stress a first responder is likely to experience on the job is acute stress. It manifests from recent events or with the expectation of an upcoming event, stress from anticipation. Acute stress causes the release of chemicals that in small doses can be very helpful, maybe even life-saving. When the amount of acute stress is limited in duration, it may cause you to feel excitement or exhilaration. However, large doses of acute stress are not exhilarating. Rather, it can cause physical and mental fatigue. I experienced both ends of acute stress spectrum while on a family vacation to Cedar Point Amusement Park. There I got to ride an amazing roller coaster called Top Thrill Dragster. Keep your arms down, head back, and hold on were the last words I remember hearing before I was launched down a track 120 miles per hour. Then we were vaulted 420 feet into the air and back down again. Start to finish, 17 seconds of sheer terror. I was experiencing acute stress. But it sure didn't feel like stress. I absolutely loved it. While waiting in the 1.5 hour line to get on the ride, I observed the faces and heard the screams of the stressed riders preceding me. This anticipation added to my levels of acute stress. As the day went on and I rode more and more roller coasters, I started to experience the physical and psychological symptoms of my prolonged acute stressors. I got a tension headache, an upset stomach. My muscles were aching, and much to my disdain of my kids, I had become irritable. I had been overexposed. You might say I overdosed on acute stress chemicals. Because of its short-term nature, acute stress doesn't have enough time to do the extensive damage associated with long-term stress. Symptoms of acute stress may include anger, irritability, anxiety, depression, tension headache, back pain, jaw pain, muscle tension, stomach aches, heartburn, acid stomach, flatulence, diarrhea, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, elevated blood pressure, rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, heart palpitations, dizziness, migraine headaches, cold hands or feet, shortness of breath, and chest pains. Because the list is so extensive and the symptoms can result from so many other conditions, it's common for the symptoms of acute stress to be attributed to other causes. Anyone can experience acute stress at any time, but first responders are, by the nature of the work and the working conditions, more likely to experience acute stress. The good news is acute stress is highly treatable and manageable. Episodic acute stress. Episodic acute stress occurs in people who suffer frequent bouts of acute stress. People in this category are often referred to as having lives filled with chaos and crisis, always being in a rush, always worrying about what can go wrong, always being in an environment that is in disarray, having high demands placed on them by others or by their own expectations can all attribute to episodic acute stress. While first responder's personal life may not be filled with chaos and crisis, he or she can be exposed to more than an average person's quota of stress. Chaos and crisis, being rushed, worrying about what can go wrong, for their own safety or the safety of those they are serving, working in rapidly changing environments and having high demands being placed on them, maybe by elected officials or bosses, peers, or customers, are all part and parcel to the normal environment of a first responder. Even where a first responder has his or her personal life in order, the job itself can create episodic acute stress. Imagine a person being in an environment with an excessively noisy or bright or cold or windy surroundings. Repetitively and or lengthy exposure to these elements are going to create stress. First responders who are repetitively exposed to lights and sirens, harsh environments, and psychological trauma may suffer from episodic acute stress from repetitively and or lengthy exposures. The symptoms and consequences of episodic acute stress can include being over-aroused, short-tempered, irritable, anxious, tense, nervous energy, feeling or acting rushed, abrupt, hostile, hypertension, chest pains, heart disease. Ironically, being exposed to someone exhibiting the symptoms of episodic acute stress can in turn increase the stress levels of those within their circle of influence. It can truly be a vicious circle. Personalities. Episodic acute stress can be compounded by a type A personality trait. Type A's are often characterized as being highly competitive, impatient, and having an ever-present sense of urgency to everything. Type A's can, at times, be aggressive and seemingly hostile. Sometimes mildly, sometimes not. Research into the cardiac impact of stress suggests that Type A's may be more likely to develop coronary artery disease as compared to the more docile, laid-back, relaxed Type B personality counterparts. For better or worse, the action-oriented, fast-paced, high-adrenaline rush-inducing environment of public safety is a magnet for individuals with Type A personalities. Episodic acute stress can be manifested from chaotic worry also. First responders can be lulled into worrying about the unfavorable outcomes of everyday situations they are exposed to repetitively, to people who are experiencing unfavorable outcomes in the throes of living everyday lives. Here's an example. A mother and her young son are walking down the sidewalk. An inattentive driver veers off course. The mother sees the car and instinctively jumps, avoiding being struck, but her 7-year-old son is struck by the car and suffers a major head and thoracic injury. He may not survive. This event is traumatic for the family, traumatic for the inattentive driver who caused the accident, and traumatic for first responders, police, fire, and EMS who have to manage the crisis they did not create. The world we live in can be dangerous, and bad things can happen with no forewarning. First responders see the consequences of this almost daily, and it can have a cumulative effect. It can make the responder overly worrisome about some consequence occurring in his or her own life to his or her own loved ones. This can contribute to stress-induced anxiety and depression. Unlike acute stress, which is short-term and relatively easy to manage, episodic acute stress requires intervention and can include help from a professional therapist. Treatment can last months, maybe even years. Lifestyles. The first responder's lifestyle, always being in the fast lane of life and in the middle of the action, can be addicting. It can become ingrained and habitual. The responder may see nothing wrong with their pedal-to-the-metal lifestyle. They may never be able to see the impacts of stress that it's having on them. If they do see it, they're likely to blame it on someone else or on external events. Pride and ego can also be a factor. A responder is used to being a caregiver, not a care receiver, and may be too proud to ask for help. He or she may simply concede that stress is part of the job or part of who they are and resign themselves that there's nothing that can be done about it. Victims of episodic acute stress can be very resistant to admitting they have a problem and very resistant to changing anything in their lives to fix the problem. If their job stress is compounded by, or maybe even exaggerated by, obesity, alcohol abuse, smoking, and or a sedentary lifestyle, they may be very stubborn to change these habits or to seek any help. Chronic stress. Chronic stress is never thrilling and never exciting. It eats away at you every day, year after year, and it can be tremendously destructive. Chronic stress occurs when a person is in a repetitively stressful environment but can't see any way out of the situation. They feel trapped, so hopeless and so helpless, they may actually give up on trying to find any solution to the problem. The chronic exposure to stress over long periods of time can lead to a desensitization. The stressed individual may become so accustomed to being stressed that they no longer even feel stressed. They're numb. They can, however, still feel the exhilaration and the excitation of acute stress because acute stress is novel or new stress while still ignoring the chronic stress. Left undiagnosed and untreated, chronic stress can lead to depression and suicide. The occurrence of a first responder suicide is very painful for all responders. We're all taught to be caregivers, to help others. And when we lose one of our own, we can feel tremendous guilt and a remorse that we could not see that coming. Sometimes there are signs and symptoms, but oftentimes there are not. Sadly, a person can become so used to feeling chronically stressed that he or she actually feels uncomfortable when they're not in a stressed environment. I have seen this. Okay, I have experienced this. There have been many times when I was so stressed at work that I needed a vacation and took one. While on vacation, I felt uneasy and, for reasons hard to explain, yearned to be back at work in the very pressure cooker environment I took the vacation to get away from. I had become comfortable in my chronically stressed environment. There are several things that you can do to help manage the impact of stress on your body and mind. Here are a few. Exercise. 30 minutes of moderate exercise 3 times a week. Just get out and walk. Eating a balanced, low-fat diet. Drink plenty of water, 8 glasses a day minimum. Get plenty of rest. 8 hours a day should be your goal. but there's a wide variation on the opinions of experts about how much rest is enough. Get a hobby or an activity away from work that relieves stress and allows you to focus on something other than the stresses of the job. Be social. There are mounting evidence that social interaction can boost the immune system, which also helps to lower stress. Hey, if you've experienced or witnessed a near miss and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, contact me by visiting the samatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us link on the top of the home page. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your near miss could actually save the life of another first responder. If you want to share your experience, contact me. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the departments and organizations that have hosted our recent Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events. I do this to show my appreciation to those organizations that have put forth the effort to organize and advertise and fund great training experiences for their members and others in their region. Your efforts to bring this valuable and powerful training on situational awareness and high-risk, high-consequence decision-making to your members and others in your region are greatly appreciated. Recent tour stops included the Iowa Fire Training Bureau in Ames, Iowa, the Overland Park Fire Department in Overland Park, Kansas, and the Shawnee Fire Department in Shawnee, Oklahoma. If you're interested in joining me for an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop, on August 17th, 19th, and 20th, I'll be delivering 3 programs for Fire Rescue International and San Antonio. Thank you to the International Association of Fire Chiefs for giving me the opportunity to present at FRI for more than 10 years in a row now, including the opportunity to keynote the conference in Chicago. I'm deeply honored by your support of my message. August 22nd to 26th, I'll be doing a week-long Company Officer Development Institute for Zionsville Fire Department in Indiana. Let me take a moment to explain what the Company Officer Development Institute is. It's a week-long program of helping company officers with the skills they need to be successful as company officers. This is all the soft skills: leadership, conflict resolution, communications, problem solving, teamwork. Here's the cool thing: no book, no PowerPoint, no BS, just skills needed for company officer success. Teaching company officers how to keep problems out of the chief's office with problem prevention and early problem resolution. What a novel idea, right? August 27th, I'll be staying over in Zionsville for an encore program for situational awareness, a full-day program. And then going up to Michigan on August 28th for a situational awareness program for the Heartland Deerfield, Michigan Fire Department. September 8th, I'll be keynoting the Arizona Fire School in Mesa. September 8th, we're also going to be at the Southwest Fire and EMS Chiefs Association Conference in Meridian, Idaho. Now, how can I be 2 places at once? I can't. This program is being conducted by Fire Chief Jerry Strike, a certified master instructor for the Situational Awareness Matters content. I'm really excited to have a second instructor to help with the load and provide programs on the dates where I have conflicts in my schedule. This is a big step for advancing the SA Matters mission, and thanks to Chief Strike for coming along and attending the training to become a master instructor. September 10th, will be at the Upper Providence Township Fire Department in Pennsylvania near Philadelphia. If you're interested in the companion and you're in PA, Maryland, or New Jersey, that would be a great opportunity to companion with the Upper Providence Township program. September 23rd, I'll be keynoting the Wisconsin Fire Chiefs Association Conference. September 27th, the International Association of Fire Chiefs Company Officer Leadership Seminar in Cincinnati. I'll be doing 2 programs on training for failure and flawed situational awareness. September 29th, a program for the Welcome Fire Department in Minnesota. September 30th, Sioux Falls Fire Department, program for their leadership team and a keynote for their Recruit Academy class graduation. Thank you so much to all the program hosts, and here's hoping there'll be a tour stop near you and we'll get a chance to meet up. The last time I delivered situational awareness programs in southwest Minnesota, I stopped by and visited my sponsor for this podcast show, Midwest Fire. Midwest Fire makes all poly fire apparatus that's changing the industry. You seriously need to check them out. MidwestFire.com. It's incredible. I mean, I saw a piece of the body of a fire apparatus that they took out on a firing range and shot a .38 caliber pistol at, and it didn't even penetrate the plastic or the poly body of this fire truck. Very resistant, very durable. Anyhow, while I was there, I got a chance to sit down and talk to their few employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here I got to ask account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the all-poly design of the Midwest Fire trucks. Let's listen in to what Dalton had to say. Okay, Dalton, I see in the advertisements that one of the things that differentiates Midwest Fire from their competitors is this all-poly design. So what does that mean, all poly? Yeah, describe that for me.
Yeah, well, poly is actually pretty common in the industry. Poly tanks are seen inside bodies all over. Manufacturers do them all the time. They've started around the 80s, I believe. But all poly means that our tank and body is all poly integrated. It's one big superstructure. You're not sliding a tank inside of a body. You're not sliding a tank anywhere. It's actually one big built body that we do, and it's made of 3/4 inch copolymer. It's extremely durable, and it's industrial grade, and it's the kind of poly you can beat the crap out of.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit of a skeptic there, because you say that poly is durable, and I own a lot of things that are plastic. In fact, I was just at home last week, and we had this appliance that had plastic parts on it, and I accidentally dropped it on the floor, and it didn't shatter, but it just cracked so easy, and I only dropped it, a couple of feet. So I'm a skeptic. When you say poly is durable, I think of poly or plastic as something that isn't durable, that's going to crack easy or dent easy. So you got to convince me on this one.
Well, yeah, trucks and shoes definitely come up with poly. But let me grab down here something really quick. As you can probably see on the screen right now, this is a piece of poly that we use. It is the same type of material, the same thickness. It's 3/4 inch. And what you might notice on here is that it has bullet holes. So basically, if you trust a bulletproof vest to take bullet holes, I mean, when they first tested it, they wanted to shoot holes through it and see if it worked. And you couldn't shoot holes through it. So what did? We did the same exact thing. We wanted to shoot holes in the theory that poly wasn't durable and poly wasn't reliable. And we tried to shoot holes through it, but you can see right here, the bullets actually could not go through. And there's actually a bullet stuck in the bottom of this one because it wouldn't get all the way through. Now, truth be told, there was one weapon that did go through this piece of poly, and it was a 30-06 high caliber rifle. It did go through, but that's a 30-06 high caliber rifle.
So it was a 45 caliber on the other side?
Yep.
And so what I'm looking at is essentially there's marks on the poly where the bullets hit, but as you show me the backside, it didn't go all the way through.
No, yeah, and the backside doesn't even have any dents on the backside.
Huh.
Actually, when we were doing this test video, one of the bullets, I think it was on the 380, actually bounced off back towards the person that shot the piece of poly. So no, the bullets did not go through. They actually either stuck in there or they bounced off.
Okay.
That's how strong this stuff actually is.
All right, so there you have it, right from the horse's mouth, shooting holes, literally, in the concept that poly is not a durable product on which to build a fire truck. So if you're interested in learning more, check them out at MidwestFire.com. Thank you to Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison and to all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving first responder safety. I sincerely appreciate your support of my mission and your sponsorship of this podcast. Hey, if you're interested in seeing a listing of all the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop locations, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Events Schedule. The schedule is always changing, so check back often. Hey, in case you didn't know, I've written 5 books on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making. These books contain critical lessons for improving your situational awareness and decision-making under stress. You can check out these books, videos, and more at the SAMatters.com online store. Just click on the store link on the top of the homepage. And you can also get the books on Amazon if you're interested. If you're not a member of the SA Matters community of learners yet, there are several ways we can get connected. And first, you can join as a member. There are more than 5,000 members connected on SA Matters, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness and how to make better decisions under stress and how to train members to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. Membership is free. When you sign up, you'll get a special report that I've created for the new members. It's free too. 25 best practices for improving first responder safety. If you're not a member yet, head over to the SA Matters website, click on the red box on the right side of the homepage that says free membership. If you want to get connected on social media, you can get connected on Twitter, at Rich Gasaway, or at SA Matters on Twitter. The SA Matters community is approaching 17,000 followers of our mission on Twitter. Thanks everyone for connecting there. You can also get connected on Facebook by joining a private SA Matters Facebook page. It's free too. You can go there at facebook.com/groups/SA Matters. There's an enticement to join the private Facebook group. I have a coupon code in there for 50% off on the newest book. That'll save you $20. On LinkedIn, you can find me by searching Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn. On YouTube, you can watch videos on the SA Matters TV YouTube channel. Well, that's it. Episode 121 is complete. Thank you to our sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thanks to all of our live event hosts. And thank you to our listeners for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I sincerely appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit SAMatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.